It's time, fight fans and degenerate gamblers. Welcome to the Thick Boys Fight Club, where there are only two rules. Rule number one, always talk about Thick Boys Fight Club. Rule number two, talk about Thick Boys Fight Club even if no one wants to talk about Thick Boys Fight Club.
All right, we are back. Thick Boys Fight Club. I'm Nick.
And I'm Ty. And once again, thanks for listening. And I'm just going to dive really quickly into this. The competition for that Stipe or Daniel Cormier t-shirt drawing is going to be happening on August 10th. So you still have time to enter. Guys, you got to subscribe. And every time you like and comment, you will be additionally entered into the raffle, which we'll be doing on August 10th. We will hit you up, ask you for your shirt size, which fighter in particular you prefer, and then we'll have that priority mailed out to you so you'll get it before the fights. You can wear it and have a celebration.
Yeah. And it's competition teamed up. We got a few subscribers this week, so
yep.
It's anyone's game right now, obviously, but please, as always, subscribe, like, comment, all the above, so you guys can be entered to win that contest that we got going on. All right, moving on to the news like we like to every before we start off with the fight card for this weekend. So first off, we'll start. We got Khabib in the news headlines saying, he's going to probably fight 2 more times. He wants to go out, sail off into the sunset with a perfect 30-0 record.
First, just like Daddy talked about.
Just like his dad talked about. And I think he's going to do it, honestly, man. He's going to first off start with Justin Gaethje, which,
that's a tall order, right?
It's a tall order, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know if you fuck with a guy whose dad just died and now he's fighting for like an even bigger purpose than what he was already thinking about. That's going to scare me a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
It's going to be one hell of a fight either way.
It's going to be a rumble in the jungle. Can't wait to really break that one down, but we'll get into that later. But he's saying, after that, he really wants to fight George St. Pierre.
Is that who they said? Or is that just something Dana White said he would be willing? Because the way I had read it was Dana White said, I'll let him, if he beats Justin Gaethje, I'll let him pick his last fight, even if it's George St. Pierre.
No. His manager and Khabib are saying George St. Pierre is who they want. You had Dana came out and said, I think it makes sense to make it versus Conor.
Shut the fuck up.
That's what he said.
Get that guy out of the fucking news cycle already. I swear, every time we do this episodes, you bring that guy's name up once a fucking week and he doesn't fight anymore. He's retired.
Hey, I can't help it that he's in the news. I'm just reporting the news that I see.
Yeah.
So, that's what he said. Of course, Dana White, real quick, covered himself going, well, we'll have to figure out how this all mess untangles and if Conor's even fighting anymore. We'll have to see. I don't want it to be GSP. To me, that's kind of – GSP's done too. GSP's retired as well, so we can't really say that. Who can it be? Let's be real. We all want to see one fight. We all want to see Tony. That's what we all want to see. That's the fight to go out with.
The only issue I would have with that is, like, for his final one, you'd want it to be the biggest test of his career, right?
No. So Tony needs to win. Right. Obviously.
But even if he wins, Gaethje beat his fucking ass. And it wasn't close. It just takes away that allure. Like, where George, it's like, I know I don't like the fucking dude. I don't even want to see him back. But at the end of the day, he is the biggest challenge Khabib will ever get.
Like, he's not in his prime anymore.
I know, but the guy still was the 185-pound champion.
I don't believe that.
Dude, he's still – I think that's the toughest competition he's going to get at 155.
He wins. Bro. Oh, he's not fighting the real GSP. That's all that will be said. That's what will be said, and it.
I know, but I think he deserves to get to fight one legend. Like, that would be one of the biggest paydays of his life again.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but I just think the problem is it's not the real GSP anymore. That's the issue I have.
But let's just say GSP does come in at 98% of what he was at 98%.
That's still good.
I know, which is great. But let's just think of the things that he can do that nobody else could do. His takedown defense, second to none. His takedowns, second to none. And he was clearly a better striker than Khabib, for sure. So if he can stuff all of Khabib's takedowns and keep it on his feet like he's done against multiple other world-class wrestlers, that would be, to me, I don't mind it because it's, like I said, I can see why it would be his biggest challenge.
I think a biggest challenge, honestly, though, would still be Tony. There's some things that went against Tony in that fight that I think went against him very in the wrong way. Like, you can't cut weight 2 weeks in a row like that. I think that really played into that fight. I think Tony can beat Gagey personally. I really do. And I think, in my opinion, maybe what should happen is Khabib beats Gagey, Tony fights Gagey, and then if he wins, he gets the a title shot against Khabib.
Yeah,
that's really the only thing you can do.
Look, Nick, I'm going to tell you this. That fight's cursed. It's never happening. Just fucking throw it into the trash. I know you want it. I know so many people want it. But I'm just gonna go out there and say the fucking thing is cursed. We should probably forget about it.
You're right. All right.
Yeah.
Also, talking about Conor McGregor real quick, though.
Oh, God.
You're going to love this. You're going to love this. Your newfound hero, Chimaev,
okay,
wrote a statement today talking about how he traveled to Ireland to fuck Conor up one time.
I love it.
You know, he came out, made a story basically talking about he didn't like when Conor talked about Khabib and all that kind of stuff, about Russia and all these things. So he actually flew into Ireland looking for him and basically got stopped by the police over there and sent home. I'm sure there was some type of visa issue or something. He tried to claim that, they first stopped him in the airport and then they worked it out and then he left. But then, like, shortly after driving around, he was pulled over again. And that time,
a suspicious-looking Muslim man looking for Conor McGregor.
You know,
I could see some issues.
Super funny. And then also, I'm glad that I wrote this one down as well. Tony Ferguson also was in the headlines today. And I liked his message. For people telling me to retire, fuck you.
Who said this? Sorry, I missed the name.
Ferguson.
Tony, yeah. Fuck those people.
Yeah,
exactly. That's right, Tony. Fuck those guys.
And then, as we're all still talking about this fight, I'm glad that it's available now to watch on replay. I haven't had a chance to watch it again yet. I'm talking about Max versus Volkanovski.
It's free on ESPN Plus now?
I think it's available. We could watch it. Dana White's talking about it's hard not to give Max the rematch again for that fight. You got Volkanovski saying he wants a new appointment. He running scared. I mean,
stop. Beat the man twice. Just don't try to. Do you really want to pay to watch that again?
I would. Yes, I would.
I would pay if Max goes and beats somebody else up, but I don't want to see a third fight back to back. It was so close. It was so close. Why not go hone your skills, bring something new to the table? Let Volkanovski fight somebody else. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Build it up. Build this rivalry up. Sell it to me. Don't just fucking force it down my throat.
I think the problem is just because you have so many people that think Max won that fight. And we're not even talking about Hawaii people here. I'm not even going there with you. Yeah. If you go read the comments, there are so many people that think Max won that fight. I mean, verdicts got Max winning that fight. So Obviously the general population disagrees with what you're saying right there.
What I would say to them is, you're right. Once is a fluke. Twice, starting to become a statistic.
Yeah, but
beat the man, dude. 2 times, bro. 2 times. 2 different sets of judges. I get it, man. It was a close fight, and I can see why people thought it was Max. But I'm just saying, why don't they just both fight one other person for now and then come back? It's just just holding up a division. Sell it, build it up. Have Max fucking beat the shit out of somebody.
All I gotta say,
all pumped on him again,
is how I actually, to be honest with you, and I am a Max Holloway fan, obviously, folks, but I do kind of feel for Volkanovski here. I can't imagine what it's like to have beaten someone 2 times on paper, yet the whole world tells you did not win, And on top of that, your boss is forcing down your throat. You're gonna continue fighting this guy until you lose. That's the game plan.
Exactly, right?
For him, I do feel bad about that. You know, hey, it is.
He's the champ.
Is.
He's the champ, and he has the right to pick a new opponent if he wants one.
True.
Like, he's right. He's beaten him twice. He does not have to fight him a third time.
But I also, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If I'm the champ and I'm being told by the world that I didn't beat that guy, I almost want to prove to everyone that I do beat that guy.
But he did. That happened in the first fight. Everybody said it was a fluke. He lost that fight, and what did he do? He went and did it a second time. But now you guys are still upset, and
so
you want to make him do it 3 times in a row.
But both so close of fights.
This is what I would tell you. If you make them fight 10 times, yes, Max is eventually going to win some of them. But like, that's not saying he's the best guy on the night of. Like, it's just, I get it. Yeah. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this, though, honestly. Who won the second fight? You got Volkanovski.
I told you. Yeah, I told you. Like, it came down into the 5th. To me, it was 2-2 going into the 5th round. Honestly, I was pretty fucked up by then. But, you know, honestly, for me, like, I think it could have gone either way.
Okay.
It was so close.
So close, could have gone either
And and I remember what it was. The takedowns did it for me. He took him down. He did, like I told you, he turned it into a mixed martial arts fight, not a kickboxing bout.
Yeah,
that's why he won.
I personally need to watch it again so I can have a true opinion on this.
That's what we'll do. We'll rewatch it and we'll talk about it on the next episode on the breakdown. We'll just
there we go. Maybe we can even watch it live over here while we're on the thing. All right, and then last but not least, Stipe Miocic talking to DC, responding to his comment that Daniel Cormier talked about wrestling shoes today. I like this one. Stipe, I thought we were fighting.
So what? Daniel Cormier wanted to have wrestling shoes on for this bout?
He basically, you know, Daniel Cormier kind of pulled, I forget who said this last, but he basically came out today and goes, if you know, don't tune in to watch this fight if you don't want to watch a single leg, a single leg, a single leg, a single leg, and then another single leg. That's basically what he said. You know, he's already wrapping out his game plan. Stipe knows it. It was in response to basically the smaller ring because, you know, Stipe at first was very against it, but I think he's coming around now. I think he realizes there's no option here.
Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't
unless he wants to fly to
Abu Dhabi, and I don't think he wants to do that. It's a lot easier just to go to Vegas and call it a day. Or do you want to fight at 6 a.m. just to fucking so you got a little bigger ring? I don't think he want to do that. So
yeah. It shouldn't look. If you're the baddest dude on the planet, it shouldn't fucking matter what ring.
Hey, and that's what he said.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he said.
Yeah, and that's why DC gonna beat that.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. All right, let's break it down.
All right. So let's get started.
Fight night.
Yeah.
This Saturday, back in Vegas, normal time. All that garbage is over. I don't mean to call it garbage. I'm just saying these no more 2 a.m. fights where, you know, we don't have the right the fighter in the right mindset that he needs to be in. We're back to normal times here.
All right. Well, starting it off for the first fight on the main card, it's going to be Kevin Holland, 17-5, coming in as a -210 favorite, fighting in the middleweight division against TREVIN Giles, 12-2. Plus 180. Nicholas.
You know, watching some of Kevin's last fights, I started laughing hysterically when they announced what it was he said when he was fighting Santos. I don't know if you saw that today when you were going over this, but I started laughing super hard. Santos had him on the ground and was just teeing off on him. And he literally looks up and he goes, "Well, you got to be hitting me so hard, bro. That hurts." Which then I started laughing. You know, Joe Rogan made a comment, goes, "How funny Kevin Holland is as a person." So I like that. You know, he kind of knew him a little bit. Now, this exact fight, though, I was watching, which is what really turned me on. I mean, Holland's got some great ground game. Really does. I mean, nasty elbows from the ground. Nasty. You got Giles is coming off controversial win over Kraus. as we were speaking about, I mean, you had a pretty good defense for that. There was a judge that could have possibly been his mind could have been a little skewed to go towards Giles here, But watching that fight, honestly, I wasn't really that impressed with Giles, which is why I got Holland here. I think Holland's going to get it done.
Yep. I'm with Nick on this one. Kevin Holland is look, he's got some really good kicks. He uses his range pretty well. He is dangerous off of his back. He's really strong in the clinch. One thing that he does do, which isn't entertaining but is a smart thing to do, is he'll pin his opponents up against the fence, kind of use that as a stalling tactic. He's throwing knees and like small punches and things, but it's control time, which makes it more in the judge's eyes that he's winning the fight. And he's willing to, he's smart. That's what I like about him, is he doesn't have that nasty 1 KO punching power, right? He's a guy who's going to pick you apart, pick his shots, do what he needs to do to win on the scorecards. And that's why I think he's going to win. Now, not to say that Giles here can't win this fight. Look, the kid is a one-hitter quitter, man. He can knock any person out in the world with one punch, because this guy is swinging for the fences. He's putting everything behind every punch, but with that comes a cost, right? He's swinging really wild, leaving himself open. He's gassing himself out a lot faster than he would if he was using proper technique, and it is a disadvantage to him. So for those reasons, I'm picking Kevin Holland. But guys, do not be shocked if this guy knocks Kevin out with one punch. But that is not the most likely thing to happen.
Be confident in your pick.
No.
Kevin Holland.
Kevin Holland is the guy that's going to win. Next up, we have Lando VANNATA, 11-4-2, coming in as a -145 favorite, fighting in the lightweight division, versus Bobby Green, 25-10-1, +125 underdog. I'll just take this off. This is a rematch. Their first fight ended in a draw, very close. There was some controversy. Lando dropped Green, was just beating the crap out of him. And when Lando stood up to throw more strikes, he threw an illegal knee. Given it mostly hit his upper thigh, the more cushioned part of his knee, allowing Bobby Green to take a minute to recover. Props to Green for continuing to take that fight, because he could have easily just said, oh, no, I'm too hurt, I can't continue, and gotten a disqualification win. After that, though, man, that was a great fight. Just a war. It ended being a draw, but, man, Bobby Green really fucked VANNATA up. But saying that, I think VANNATA's, he's only improving. He's younger, getting better, constantly improving. His boxing, his movement is really great, where Bobby Green does tend to stand a little more flat-footed, throws more straight punches. His takedown defense is a lot better than their first match, which does give me a little bit of worry. But I think Lando's done enough to improve his game that he's actually going to have more tools to win this fight than the first time they met each other.
Yeah. I mean, as you said, this is a rematch. Green was the underdog the first time they met as well. And it was kind of controversial there, like you said, due to the illegal knee. It didn't make any contact, and it was the very soft part. Kind of rough to even call it when it never made contact.
The leg definitely hit him in the face.
No, 100%. But, I mean, do you call it when it doesn't? Nothing illegal really happened?
They're rules, bro. It's
rules.
A sport. It's a sport. It doesn't matter if it was. I agree with you. Yeah, it's a fist fight, but at the same time, it's rules. You got to stick to them.
Yeah.
Shitty.
Yeah. No, but I'm with you, obviously, here. Lando, I thought, had done enough the first time, and it was a very close fight, though. It really was. But losing that point is what ultimately was his demise. You got both of these guys coming off wins against guys who are kind of on their way out. I like Lando here. He's the younger guy. That's what I'm going with.
Okay. Very nice, very nice. Fighting next up in the welterweight division. This should actually be the co-main event of the evening, but for whatever fucking reason, it's not. It's Vincent Lecu, 18-7-1 minus 180, fighting Randy Brown, 12-3 plus 155. Nick?
Yeah, well, you got Lecu coming off a win over Nico Price, finishing him in the third. You got Bobby Green here, though.
Randy Brown.
I'm sorry. Randy Brown, who lost to Nico Price, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yep.
So now, the good news is in the MMA world, as we've learned time and time again, there is no such thing as MMA math here. As we were discussing a little bit earlier, folks, it seems like Randy Brown here has possibly learned a few things since that fight. That fight took place in 2018. Since then, he has been on a win streak here, Mr. Randy Brown. One being a submission and getting a TKO over another gentleman. He's got Vincent Lecu here in front of him, who is honestly has been through some wars and is also on a pretty little decent run himself. Now, his last fight was against Nico Price, so here they are fighting, the same guys a couple different years later. Also, though, you got Vincent Lecu has lost kind of when, he's fought maybe someone a little more technical, as Mr. Randy Brown could be here for him. I just think we got to go with Randy Brown on this one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with Nick here. Look, Vincent Lecu, like we were discussing earlier, he has been through his past 3 fights have all been decisions, have all been wars. Look, Platinum Mike Perry, you're not going to tell me he didn't get rocked in that fight. When he fought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he got dropped 4 times. When he fought Nico Price, he got rocked at least twice in that fight. Look, what we're seeing is this gentleman is taking a lot of damage. He's not fighting for a longevity for his career to, go on 5 more years. This is going to be a short career. His chin is going to go soon. I'm just reading in between the lines. Look, Vincent Lecu is what you call a technical brawler. The guy wants to be in a firefight. He wants to be in your face, just trading punches, but his techniques are flawless. He's doing everything correctly, but he just doesn't mind eating a punch to give a punch. And he's willing to eat big punches. Yeah. Where Randy Brown here, on the other hand, I think is the more traditional. Well, he's very technical, but in a different sense, where he likes to use his range because he's standing at 6'3". Vincent Lecu is going to be standing 5'11". He's got a 4-inch reach advantage just on height alone. He's good at using his range. He likes to pick his shots from the outside. He's got some very strong kicks. He uses his elbows and his knees very well in the clinch. And on top of that, when he is taken to the ground, he has a very active guard. He's throwing up submissions. He's relatively quick to his feet. Although it's not his first instinct instinct is to go for submissions. And then if it's not working out after a little while, then he stands up, which can be detrimental to his game. But Vincent Lecu is not the kind of guy who shoots for a takedown. He's the kind of guy who his best takedown is a left hook, right? Drops you, then he's going to follow up. But I think Randy Brown, he's going to be smart, pick him apart from the outside. And honestly, I think he's going to drop him at least once in this fight. And that's going to be the difference.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, but that's going to be the fight of the night, guys. That's going to be, you've got that guy who's just going to come forward, looking to get into a brawl, and then you have the technician counter-striking on the outside. It's going to be good. Next up, in the women's flyweight division, we have Joanne Calderwood, 14-4, minus 150, fighting Jennifer MAIA, 17-6-1, coming in as the plus 130 underdog. I'm just going to jump into this one right here. Calderwood here is predominantly Muay Thai fighter. Her Muay Thai career consists of 19-2. She's a 3-time Muay Thai world champion, an IKF European champ, WBC Muay Thai champ, WKL European champ, all in the flyweight division. She's got some amazing kicks, leg kicks, body kicks, head kicks. She, traditional Muay Thai. She's all about kicking. Throws a lot of straight punches, not a lot of hooks, uppercuts, anything like that. Not a diverse arsenal with her hands, but she makes up with that in the Thai clinch, uses a lot of knees. She's got really great cardio. They both have a similar opponent in Chokajin or Caitlin Chokajin, who's probably the second best in the division next to, sorry, I'm trying to remember her name, the champ right now, Shevchenko.
Yes.
Yeah, she's easily number 2 next to her. But the one thing with Calderwood is what we've seen is, even though she has this great Muay Thai stand-up, she seems to struggle with fighters in particular who have really good hands, who can mix up their hands really well and kind of throw her off her game. That's what Chukajin did. She used her hands really well, threw in some hooks, combinations, and followed up with kicks. Jennifer MAIA is from the Shoot Box Academy. She's has been a pro boxer, she's only fought 3 times, but won all 3, won by KO. She's in our title of our show. She's thick. She's a thick girl, man. She's missed weight in her past 2 fights, really strong. She's definitely going to have the strength advantage. She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. She has good takedowns. So this is one of the reasons why I'm going to pick MAIA, is that she has more tools to win this. If she does start getting beaten on the feet, she does have good takedowns, and then she's a BJJ black belt. Where Calderwood does take people down, but it's usually from catching kicks, and then she forces them to the ground. She's not someone who shoots from the outside or goes for a double leg when they're in the clinch against the fence. That's not how she takes them down. Those are the main reasons why I'm going to be taking MAIA in this fight.
Yeah, I feel you have some, as you just said there, this weight issue is actually something I'm really intrigued by here. Obviously, with Calderwood literally just accepting this fight last week. That to me tells me, either she's been training, but, normally these girls are walking around a good 15 pounds heavier than where they fight at. So with that in the mix, the weight thing, I can't wait to see the weigh-ins. I'm wondering if they both miss weight, honestly. I can clearly see that happening. I'm liking how this fight has, honestly, for poor Calderwood, is the makings of a perfect storm here. I mean, we have seen this time and time again where, your title fight, for whatever reason, got dropped off, so you want to stay active, and guys step in, and it doesn't go right for you that night. And this has the makings of definitely of that happening. As MAIA here is coming off a fresh loss to Chuchkin, as we just said. Calderwood, I'm sorry, also has lost to Chuchkin. It's just we're at the same skill level here is where I'm getting at with this. Now, and they're saying that Calderwood here is up to face Shevchenko. But let's be real. Is she really the next in line, or is this division just so thin that we're just hunting for people to fight her? And that's kind of what I think that is. So if you're thinking of this fight in that aspect, you're thinking about it all wrong. MAIA could have easily been accepted to fight Shevchenko just because they need someone to fight her. So, yeah, for that reason alone, I like the underdog story. I like it all. Honestly, watching MAIA's fight, she's no joke. She's a real deal, too. This is going to be a great fight, I think. But I think MAIA's going to be able to take this one home.
Very nice, very nice. All right, and then for the main event of the evening, fighting in the middleweight division, we got Derek Brunson, 20-7, coming in as a plus 265 underdog versus Edmen Shahbazyan. Sorry, I cannot pronounce that name. 11-0, 11-0, minus 315. Nick?
Well, Shahbazyan, he's got a lot of talk. lot of people talking about him. I don't know if you guys know this. Ronda Rousey is his manager. Ronda Rousey actually was the one that went on Instagram here last week, and I talked about this as a news story on the show a couple weeks ago. You know, she went on with Dana White and announced that this would be the main event, which is funny to me. Just real quick before I continue to break this down, as you had Ty saying something earlier that he was like, I can't believe LUQUE versus Brown is not the main event of the evening. Now, it very well could be. And I'm just going to put this out there, folks. This card is just a filler card for the UFC, if we're going to be honest here. This isn't, something we're all extremely excited about. At least I'm not. I mean, it's UFC, so of course I am. But, they kind of put this together last minute, which is why we're having some of these, off-kilter matches in here. I'm almost thinking, I don't know what you think about this. I'm almost thinking that the Calderwood fight was almost the only reason they could get her to fight on the card maybe was to tell her she was the co-main event. It's kind of,
sense.
yeah, I'm just kind of looking at it like that. But anyways, yeah, Ronda Rousey's high up on this kid, real high up. A lot of people are. You got Joe Rogan talking all about him, talking about how this kid is lightning fast and, kid's wild. I mean, in some of the fights you watch, by all means, he looks very crisp. There's no doubt about that. Yet, when you have to look at this as we are a gambling show and, we bring you guys where we think the money lies, how can you not look past the fact that we're talking about Derek Brunson? What are we at? Plus what?
265.
265 against, Derek Brunson's 36. I mean, he's just out of his prime. But we're talking about a kid who's not really proven yet in the UFC. At that type of odd, how can you not take that? I mean, that you can't sleep on Derek Brunson and say he has no chance in this fight. That's completely stupid to say. I mean, yeah, we're all high up on Shahbazyan, big time kid. Now, both of these guys though know not to go the distance. The other thing I would like to talk about this fight though that is a little interesting, which for Brunson though I would think it might be a beneficial thing for him. Even though this is the main event, they're not making this a 5-round fight. This is still only a 3-round fight.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So like I tried to tell you earlier, the UFC literally is just throwing fights against the wall and hoping they stick on this one. You know what I mean? This wasn't like a planned put together fight card. But yeah, I mean, both of these guys don't really like to go the distance. I would honestly like an under bet here too. I really do.
No, that sounds good. Yeah, under sounds good. Look, these guys are known for taking people out in the first round.
Yeah.
Specifically. Watching the tapes of the two of them, I went in there watching not knowing much about Edmen here, assuming that he was going to be the underdog. I put money on him if he's the underdog. But I assume Derek Brunson. I'm assuming Derek Brunson's going to win this fight. Then seeing that Derek Brunson's a plus 265 favorite, because I always watch all the fights, pick who I think is going to win. Then I look at the odds. I look at Derek Brunson, seeing him at 265. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. The man is an NCAA Division II wrestler, brown belt under Renzo Gracie. Besides Kendall Grove in his UFC debut, he's only lost to the elite of the division. Jacare Souza, Yoel Romero, Bobby Knuckles, a.k.a. Robert Whittaker, Anderson Silva, and Israel Adesanya. Like, those are the cream of the crop. Those are like all, besides Yoel Romero and Jacare Souza, those are all champions. But those two were like, for the longest time, the number 2 or number 1 contenders. Like, those were the top of the middleweight division. Look, traditionally, Derek Brunson here has been a first-round finisher. Since 2015, he's won 6 fights in the first round. But then he went and lost to Jacare, lost to Israel Adesanya, and he's kind of matured, would be the word I'm looking for. He's not going in there guns a-blazing in the first round. He's pacing himself. He's realizing, I have 15 minutes to win this fight. I don't need to win this in the first 5. I can use the entire 15 minutes to win. He'll use his wrestling. He does have power in his hands. Occasionally, he does get a little wild and reckless and start swinging and leaving his hands a little low. But I think he's smart. I think he knows. Like Nick said, he's 36 years old. You know, he's only got 1 or 2 climbs left in him to get to the top of the division. He's going to be smart about this. He's going to shoot for takedowns. He's going to push this guy up against the fence, work him, and grind out a decision. Because let's be realistic here, guys. Edmen Shahbazyan, the only guy that he's beaten that's worth mentioning is Brad Tavares. And let's be fucking realistic. That guy is not in his prime anymore. He's a gatekeeper. He's been beaten by a bunch of people. He's just someone they feed the top 10. Like, you're going to go into the top 10, fight that guy. And then you can be in the top 10. And that's what he did. Fucking destroyed him. But all we've seen is this kid beat dudes in under 5 minutes. He's one fight, which I could not find the footage for whatever fucking reason, that went 15 minutes. So I don't really know what his gas tank looks like. But do we know he can stop an elite level wrestler? Like, what does he look like up against the cage? Is he strong in the clinch? I don't have answers for that, and that's why I'm going to pick the proven veteran in Derek Brunson over the unknown, hyped up-and-comer, because we all know 9 out of 10 of the future best fighters that we hear about, like, this guy's the next big thing in MMA, 9 out of 10 of them will lose a fight working their way up to that. You know, they just get fed to someone and everyone's so high up on them, and then, you know, everyone underestimates the guy. And that's what I'm seeing right here, is that this has all the works of an underdog story, and I think Derek's got all the tools to win it.
Oh no, it definitely does. I mean, as I said, this main event was literally just made midway through last week, announced. So, you know, you got a kid coming in, maybe not fully prepared. And I mean, you got to give it to Derek Brunson here. Like you're saying, he has kind of turned the corner, it looks like, in his career, where maybe like knocking guys out in the first round and getting in danger isn't really the way to do it anymore. You know, both of his fights in 2019 were both decisions, just grinding these out. One of those, I mean, can we really call? I mean, it was Elias Trudeau. I mean, that guy's pretty crazy. I know a lot of people aren't all high up on him anymore these days, but I mean, you know, I like it. I like the pick a lot, you know, for the underdog right there. Derek Brunson, the money is there, and he has a really good chance of pulling this off. There's no doubt about that, you know. Plus money like that, take it all day.
Yeah. Look,
but
guys,
I think there's some safe money. You guys don't agree with us like that? Safe money, put it on the under.
Yeah, I think the under, when I looked on mine, was under 1.5 was minus 200.
Sure. So, you know, that it's not a bad pick, honestly. I know you're gonna have to pay some juice to get the money out, but it could end with literally Brunson knocking this kid out real quick, or it could end with Brunson getting knocked the fuck out, and then we're like, oh well, he's 36-year-old man. That's what happens, you know. Because
let's be realistic. This kid is only 22 years old, which hats off to him. Super impressive, but not everybody's John Jones who goes undefeated.
That's
Khabib.
True.
I
mean,
off, you know
Ronda Rousey, though, said she's been throwing this kid around since he was 14 years old in the gym. So he does have a little experience.
Yeah. Look, we're gonna find out on Saturday night. But
we're gonna find
like I talk about in so many other fights, let's just remember, guys, this is a mixed martial arts fight, and the guy who's got the most mixed martial arts tools, when you're just looking on paper and proven in the ring, is Derek Brunson.
That's very true. All right. Well, excellent. Well, guys, as always, there you go. We got the picks for you. So let's just go over it real quick. We got Kevin Holland, Lando VANNATA, Randy Brown, Jennifer Maia, and Derek Brunson for you guys. Those are the 5 picks for the week. We'll be coming back with you guys either Saturday night, probably Sunday, with a little recap show. We'll break down how we did, how the fights went. And please like, comment, subscribe if you want to be entered in for the free t-shirt giveaway.
That's right. Just hit that like, just comment, and every time you do it, guys, you get added into the raffle an additional time. So, yeah.
Do it. All right, guys. Peace out. We'll be back with you guys shortly.
Yeah, check you later. Shoot.
Good luck.